Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Lauren, and on this channel we talk about books, and today's video is one that I am really excited about. I went on kind of an intense book buying extravaganza the month of February. I received books from subscriptions. I went shopping at Barnes & Nobles and Target. I went to a really cute independently owned bookstore, and I even bought a book at a grocery store that I didn't even realize sold books, but I was buying a birthday card for someone and they had a really small section of books, and I saw one that caught my eye, so I bought it. So today's video, it's gonna be that. I'm gonna be showing you guys all the books that I bought in the month of February. It is exponential, if I do say so myself. So I'm not gonna spend too long in the intro. I'm gonna try to go through the books as quickly as possible so this video isn't a million years long, because no one has time for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I think what I'll do is I'll start with the books I got in subscription boxes. If you can hear the birds outside, I'm so sorry. Or maybe you're into that. I have two huge trees outside my bedroom windows, and birds just, that's their happy place. So you might hear the birds singing today. The first book I got from L'Oreal, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Yeah, L'Oreal. Is actually a book that was on my February anticipated releases, and it is The Lies That Summon the Night. I was really surprised at how small this book is, but look how beautiful this edition is. I think it's so beautiful. If you watched my anticipated releases, this is the book that is about how art form is basically illegal to practice, and our female main character, she is gifted with the ability of storytelling, and one of the, I guess, guards you could call him, he is charged with hunting people who he catches performing any type of art, and he does run into our female main character. He catches one of her storytelling sessions, and they kind of, I guess, team up on a quest. She's more drawn into it as a, I don't know, a determination of survival, but there's something in it for her as well. So I just thought the idea that art form was illegal in this world was really interesting. And the bookmark is also really pretty. They always send bookmarks with books that kind of coincide with the actual book, and we have a really pretty map on the inside, so I'm really excited to read this one. I just think it's so pretty. My book of the month choice this month for February was A Good Animal by Sarah Marr. Could be saying her last name incorrectly. This book, I almost did not choose a book of the month because none of them really stood out to me, but there was something about this synopsis that just, I kept on going back to it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I have the subscription anyways. I'm just gonna go for it. And it says, in the farm country outside some town in Michigan, a border town where life moves slow and dreams run fast, most kids want out. Not Everett. He's set on staying put, rebuilding his family sheep farm and carving a future from the land he loves. Then he meets Mary, a new girl in town with restless energy and bigger plans. When their relationship reaches a crossroads, Everett sees a life together. Mary, however, is desperate to find a way out. Together, they make an impulsive choice, one that could change everything. Tense, lyrical, and deeply felt, Sarah's unforgettable debut, oh, so this is her debut novel, wow, is breathtakingly captures the ache of first love, the beauty and brutality of rural life, and how one decision can echo through generations to shape who we become. The synopsis in the Book of the Month app was basically saying how he wants to stay in the town and, you know, live off the land, and he's very comfortable with a slow-paced life living in the country, and she has, you know, bigger dreams, and how these two people who have fallen in love kind of navigate the differences that they've seen for themselves and how they want their life to go. And I don't know, I just thought that sounded really sweet and really endearing. I don't typically read this type of story, so I don't know, I guess it just, that kind of made me hesitate because I don't always pick up books like this. But I don't know, something just kind of called to me about it and I wanted to give it a shot. So this was my book of the month choice. So this month from my Bookish box, Bookish, what is it called? Is that what it's called? Bookish something or other? Yeah, the Bookish box is another subscription box. They sell like merch and stuff as well, but they also, they have like a book subscription. I just got 2 books this month. I don't remember asking for 2 books. I'm only a part of like their Darkly Romance book subscription, which is definitely this one. It still has a cellophane around it, but it is Luxuria is the title by Colette Rhodes. And the back of it says, "You may be the king of this realm and used to demanding every little thing you want, but I am your queen. You will put in work for me." And this book is like so gorgeous. I don't know if there's like a reflection because it does have the cellophane on it, but it's really pretty. It's not very huge. So I was expecting to at least get 1 book from them because I get 1 book from them every month, but my box this month had 2 books. And I checked my charges. I wasn't charged any more, and I definitely didn't request to add a book, so I don't know. But I got an extra book this month, and it's called Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. Another beautiful, beautiful book. And the back of it says, "You were never my prisoner and I was always yours." And even the back is beautiful. I have no idea what it's about. I've never heard of either of these books, but I'm really excited to own them and to have them on my shelves. Okay, moving on to the books that I purchased in store. I will try to remember where I bought each book, and I will obviously let you guys know where I purchased it. The first book I got was A Secret in the Garden. I did talk about this book on my February anticipated releases, so I'm not going to go too in depth of it. But basically we have a woman who is a botanist, and she goes to work at this man's manor, and she wants to rehabilitate the gardens, but there is a condition that he gives her where she has to work on the gardens by herself. She has to be a resident of the manor, and she has to complete this task in 1 year. And while that's obviously odd, she does accept because she needs the money. And while she's staying there, odd things begin to happen to her within the house. Like she hears voices and whatever else. I guess we'll discover all the odd things that happen to her within the story. But I thought that it sounded really, really good. Had like a little gothic vibe to it, and I'm sure our female main character, the botanist, we're gonna have some love interest going on with our very recluse, very mysterious male main character. So thought that sounded really good. And again, this book is just so gorgeous. The next book I have is Fallen Gods. I did pick this up at Target. I had never heard of this book before. From what I understand, it is a new release. It was in like their, I don't know, the little shelves that face the outward aisle, and usually those books are newer releases or special editions. And the cover and title just caught my eye. There's like I don't know, I think it's like a male deer, a buck. I was like, what is that called? And it has really big horns, so it just looks really, really cool. It has like gold something or other draped around it. Its eye is raised gold. It's a really, really pretty cover. And it does say, they said the gods were myth, that the giants were only stories told around dying fires. They lied. And the synopsis is really good, so I will read it because I had never heard of this book before. So it says, the gods aren't dead, they're only sleeping, locked in mortal bodies, scattered across the world, waiting for the right spark to wake them. And my father is the most ruthless of them all. He raised me to obey, to bleed, to be his blade when the time came. Now he's sending me to Indir University, a place filled with ancient bloodlines and deadly secrets, to steal back. It's a Norse word that I do not know how to say, but it's the hammer. Like I want to say it's Thor's hammer. I don't know how to say this word, but I'll put a picture of the hammer that the story is referring to right here. If I fail, everyone I love dies. But Eric Erickson wasn't part of the plan. He's the enemy's heir, distant, dangerous, and the one person I can't afford to fall for. He's closed himself off completely behind a wall of ice, but the more I'm ordered to unravel him, the harder it becomes to remember where the lies end and I begin. There's only a mission I never chose, and a man I was never meant to love, standing between me and a war that will decide the fate of the world. But if I'm the spark, maybe he's the fuse, and the gods, they're about to wake up angry. I just thought that sounded so good. I was like, this was not on my radar, but I'm so glad I ran into it. Another book I was not anticipating purchasing or knew anything about was Vicious Secret by Morgan Bridges. This is the author of the Once You're Mine. I think it's, what, 2 or 3 books, which I do own but have not read, and I've heard really good things about it. So I saw this and I was like, ooh, that looks good. And it is book 1 of the Obsidian Order, and it says, a woman fights her dangerous attraction to the sexy assassin stalking her, but he's the only man who can save her. And I just thought that sounded really good. The next book we have was on my February anticipated releases. I just had to get this book the day it came out, and that is The Sun and the Star Maker by Rachel Griffin. Another gorgeous book. Are you kidding? It's so beautiful. And it says, there was once a village so far north that most considered it the top of the world. And in that village, the sun fell in love with her star maker. So beautiful. Another book I picked up is Songbird of the Sorrows. I also talked about this one in my February anticipated releases. Another really gorgeous edition. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but the cover is reflective and it has stenciled edges. This book sounds so wonderful. It says, spy, thief, princess, songbird, banished from the Palace of Sorrows as a child, Princess Aaliyah, I'm not sure that's how you say your name, Ayla maybe, it's A-E-L-L-A, so Ayla, I don't know, was taken in by the Avery, a secret intelligence network embedded throughout the Imperios that trains orphans as professional spies. Yes. Now 23 years old, she has finally earned her place as a songbird on the most elite team of assassins, led by none other than her former flame, Raven. Everything about him calls to her. He's brave, loyal, and lethal, but their relationship is also the greatest threat to her standing as a songbird. Before she can untangle her feelings, their team is sent on a dangerous mission to the Eastern Kingdom. Her role is crucial yet troublesome. She must assume her former title of Princess of Sorrows to compete in a series of bridal trials. But when the trials turn deadly and the mission is threatened, she must decide whether to follow orders or defy them. That sounds so good. The next book I picked up is Wicked Onyx by Debbie Cassidy. Another really gorgeous book. It says, you don't graduate Knightsbridge Academy, you survive it. Born in a sorcerer bloodline, cursed and cut off from my power, I was accustomed to being an outcast for generations. My bloodline carried the weight of a crime committed by our ancestor, but my mother's death changed everything. She left a clue that could prove our innocence, an ancient text hidden deep beneath Knightsbridge Academy. The Academy is a fortress of power, housing the most dangerous enchanters and sorcerers, conscripted to keep horrors and echoes at bay, and the last surviving onyx. Oh, and as the last surviving Onyx, I'm owed admission. My plan is simple: find the book and expose the Imperium as the liars they are. But I didn't plan for the whispers that haunt my dreams or the complicated feelings I shouldn't be capable of, stirred by two men bound to the very institution I've come to destroy. One sees too much but says too little. The other is steady, protective, and always in my corner. I can't have either. Yet, when I'm in their presence, my curse begins to crack. If they discover my true purpose, I'm dead. But some truths are worth dying for. The Imperium cursed my bloodline, stripped us of our magic, branded us as traitors, and now they will pay. That just sounds so delightful. Another book I picked this one up on a complete whim, and it says One for My Enemy, or it's called One for My Enemy by Olive E. Blake. I just love Olive E. Blake. Her writing is so fun to me, and she kind of has like a variety of storytelling. Like the writing style is the same, but she has a variety of like, not, maybe genres isn't the right word, but it's not like, not every story is the same. We're like, you know, like fantasy romance writers, they're all like they all write the same book. I guess you could kind of say Rebecca Yarros is kind of in that wheelhouse, even though her stories are love stories. They're not like the same story over and over again. That's how Olive E. Blake is for me. She doesn't just spit out the same type of book every time she writes a book, and I really appreciate that. So this one is set in modern day Manhattan, where we lay our scene. Two rival witch families fight to maintain control of their respective criminal empires. On one side of the conflict are the Anatova sisters, each one beautiful, cunning, and ruthless, and their mother, the elusive supplier of premium intoxicants known only as Baba Yaga, which I love. On the other side, the influential Ferdovo brothers serve their father, the crime boss known as Koshi the Deathless. Probably said that wrong. Whose ventures dominate the shadows of magical Manhattan. After 12 years of treacherous coexistence, one family member brutally crosses the line. Bad blood reignites old grudges. At the same time, fate intervenes with a chance encounter between enemies. In the wake of love and vengeance, everyone must choose a side. As each of the siblings struggle to stake their claim, bloodshed is inevitable. But the question is, whose? Ooh, that sounds delightful. This is not a new book, I do not think. Let's see when this was published. Yeah, 2019. So I have seen this book at Barnes & Noble's before, and I don't know, I guess it was just, I was in a shopping mood. So I saw it. It was the only one on the shelf. So I said, you're coming home with me. The next book I picked up, I want to say I got this one at Barnes & Noble's as well, is Graceless Heart. I want to say this is a new release as well, but I had not heard of it. Oh no, it does say that the copyright is 2025, so maybe it's not a new release. Maybe, no, but it does say first edition 2026. Well, that's confusing. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know when this book was published. I'm assuming it's a new release, or at the very least, this cover is a new release. You'll have to let me know if you've heard of this book, and is this a new, like a new book? I don't know. But I saw the cover, and it drew me in. How could it not? It's so gorgeous. And it says, love is the most outrageous, no, it does not say that. Love is the most dangerous magic. As a sculptress, Ravina Maffei has always shaped beauty from stone, but she has a terrible secret. Desperate to save her brother, she enters a competition hosted by Florence's most feared immortal family, revealing a dark power in a city where magic is forbidden. Now, a captive in the cutthroat city, Ravina is forced into a dangerous task where failure means certain death at the hands of Saturnino de Luni, the immortal family's mesmerizing but merciless heir. But as he draws her closer, Ravina realizes the true threat lies beyond Florence's walls. The Pope's war against magic is closing in, and Ravina is no longer just a prisoner, but a prize to be claimed. As trusting the wrong person becomes lethal, Ravina must survive the treacherous line between the Pope's obsession and the seductive immortal who might be the end of her, or surrender her power to a city on the brink of war. Doesn't that just sound amazing? I think it sounds really, really great. I want to say this is like historical fantasy, which that sounds cool. I'm into that. Another book I picked up, I got this from an independent bookstore, and I had seen it at Barnes & Noble and Target, and I refrained from picking it up just for whatever reason. And when I saw it at the bookstore, it was the only one on the shelf, and I just felt like it was a sign. This book would not leave me alone. And so I was like, you know what? I'm supporting a small bookstore, and this book will not stop haunting me. So I bought it. And that is Conform. I had never heard of this book before, but I do believe it is a new release. And the owner of the bookshop has read this book, and she said that it was delightful. So I was like, fine, I'll buy it. It says, in the far future, one young woman becomes torn between two loves and two sides of rebellion. And the first novel of a sweeping dystopian romance series. A lifelong outcast, 27-year-old Emmeline spends her days alone, sorting ancient arts for destruction. Centuries after a catastrophic war nearly decimated humanity, society is now ruled by an elusive and technologically advanced group called the Ilum, I-L-U-M, Ilum, who constantly monitor the population's health and mandate procreation contracts. But her bleak existence is shattered when, for the first time in decades, the Ilum named Colin takes a mate, Emmeline. Baffled as to why she was chosen, Emmeline is swept into a dangerous game of the courting phase, where one wrong move can mean elimination. Soon, she discovers that a clandestine rebellion is rising, and that her mate may be keeping secrets of his own. Colin is confusing, both cold and protective, and worse, she finds herself drawn to the very last person she should be falling for, Hal, a member of the Resistance. As she draws closer to both Colin and Hal, the Ilum exercise their power in increasingly brutal ways, forcing Emmeline to question everything. Most of all, whether she'll have to give up her heart or even her life to stop them. I felt like this gave me like 1984 vibes, so I'm really excited to read this. Another book I picked up, I did get this one from Barnes & Nobles, and it was also mentioned on my 2024 anticipated releases video, is Crown of War and Shadow by J.R. Ward. Another beautiful, gorgeous book. Like, they are really doing it with the special edition books at Barnes & Nobles. And Rebecca Yarrow says this is a powerhouse in the genre. So it says, destiny cannot be denied, neither can true love, on the back of the book. And it says, in the dead of night, passions rise, empires fall, and a queen must awaken. Welcome to the kingdom of the compass. The fulcrum is falling, and demons are slipping into the mortal world. No one is safe, especially not Sorrel, an orphan and an outcast within the walls of her small village because of her mystical abilities. She wants to survive, and somewhere she can call true home. But fate has other plans. Sorrel has been chosen, cursed. She must cross the Badlands to return a queen's crown and convince the fearsome sovereign to save their world from destruction. Well aware she's no brave hero, Sorrel makes a dangerous deal with Merc, a brooding, commanding mercenary known only by his unscrupulous profession. The deal? A night in his bed that she will never forget, in exchange for her safe passage. But Merc has secrets of his own, and even though desires run hot between them, adventure, danger, and betrayal lurk around every corner. Y'all, sounds amazing. It's my kind of book. The next book that I picked up, looks like I got this one at Target, also was on my February anticipated releases, is Heir of Illusions. I think this is book one in a new series. It's the Varen Isles series, and it says, she is not the pet they tamed. She is the beast they let inside. Hello. An alliance between enemies, a weapon of untold power, and a bond that could rewrite fate. We love that. Okay, so next I placed an order on bookoutlet.com. If you don't know about bookoutlet.com, you need to know about it. It's basically like an overstock, but for books. It's so wonderful. The prices are so great. Let me grab some scissors, pop this box open, and I'll tell you guys what I got. Okay, so the first two books I got are Shadow of Night and the Book of Life. These are in the Discovery of Witches series. I think Shadow of Night is book 2 and Book of Life is book 3. I do already own these books, but I do not own these editions. The editions that I have of the second and third book are the books that have like the TV series actors on it and like the HBO stamp on it, which is fine, but I really don't love that. I don't really understand why books put the movie or TV covers as the book cover. And once those editions come out, it's really hard to find the original edition at like a Target or a Barnes & Noble. They just love to promote and sell the editions with the TV actors on them. And there's just something about that that kind of takes like, I don't know, like the authenticity of the book away. Like I want the book. I don't want a movie cover on my book. So when I saw these available on bookoutlet.com, I was like, oh, I have to have it. So I ordered them, and I think they were like $5.99 each. So I spent what, $11, $12? So I'm really excited. You can't even get a single book for that these days. And they're so beautiful. I don't know why they don't produce these anymore. Like these are gorgeous, gorgeous books. So I'm excited to have them. I went ahead and I grabbed the third installment of the Crescent City series. I do have the first two books, which I have not picked up to read. But it is really hard for me to find the paperback edition of these books at my Barnes & Nobles. They're always hardcover, and I have the first two books in paperback, so I want to continue to purchase the series in paperback. And this book was heavily discounted. I think I got it for $4.99, so I was like, whatever, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna grab it. And it was low stock, so I was like, I'm not gonna wait, I'm just gonna get it. Another book I grabbed at thebookoutlet.com is A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. This is also a historical fantasy, and the synopsis just, I had to have it. I had never heard of this book before. I don't know when it was published, but it says, a sweeping tale of revolution and wonder in a world not quite like our own. It's the age of the Enlightenment and a new and magical political movement. From the mesmer Robespierre calling for revolution in France to a wealthy mage Toussaint Louverture leading the slaves of Saint Dominic in their fight for freedom, to the bold new Prime Minister William Pitt, waiting the legalization of magic among commoners in Britain and abolition throughout the colonies overseas. But amid the upheaval of the early modern world, there is an unknown force inciting all of human civilization into violent conflict, and it will require the combined efforts of revolutionaries, magicians, and abolitionists to unmask this hidden enemy before the whole world falls to darkness and chaos. I just thought that sounded so interesting. We're in the age of enlightenment. We've got the French Revolution happening. We've got slaves being, I think Saint Dominic is in Haiti. Am I right on that? But we've got slaves being freed, and we've got something happening in Britain, legalization of magic, and we also have the New World is also coming of age in the West. So that's really interesting, and how all of these different areas of the world are going to work together to fight a dark enemy that we don't know what this dark enemy is, but I'm really interested to find out. Let's see when this book was published. So it looks like the first edition came out in June of 2020, but this particular book looks like it's a second print that came out in 2022. But originally this book was published in 2020. Another book I picked up is from the World Classic Library of Homer, and this is both the Iliad and the Odyssey, but this edition, just so beautiful. It's like foiled and reflective, and it has sprayed edges. I just couldn't pass it up. There's like a little teeny tiny ship here at the bottom. I love the Odyssey. I think it's just such an amazingly fun and reflective story. My oldest daughter, her name is Penelope, off of Odysseus's wife. I just love that story. I don't know. I fell in love with it in high school and it has just stuck with me throughout my adulthood. I watch all of the reimagined Odyssey movies. I don't know. I'm like a nerd for the Odyssey. I just think it's so great. And when I saw this book, I think it was like $7 or $8 when I saw it. I was like, oh, that book was made for me. And it's heavy too. It's a really awesome quality book. So I'm really excited to own it. So I do have some bookish, non-book things that I ordered from the Bookish box. Like I told you guys, they have like merch and stuff. So I did order some things separately from the books that I just want to show you guys really quickly. They were having a little sale. What did we just have? We just had President's Day. So they were having a little President's Day sale and I took advantage. I bought a few things. Okay, so it looks like I have to screw this together, but it's like a candle holder. So you put like a little tea light in the circle part, and I guess on this back part you put the dragon. And so it's like a dragon. Can you guys see my terrible shower? So yeah, you put the tea light back here and it's a dragon, and then I think the idea is that the dragon like projects on the wall because of like the light shining behind it. I did expect this to be bigger, and this is like really flimsy quality, so that's kind of a disappointment. But I don't think it was very expensive. I think it was like $12. So I mean, you get what you pay for. But how cute! And they do provide a screwdriver and some screws. So that's very nice of them. Oh, they even provide the little candle. How funny, how cute. Okay, the next thing that I got is this little fourth wing, like, I don't know, window picture, and there's like dragons flying. Can you guys see? Isn't that sweet? I think this was also like $12-13. So totally worth it. I love fourth wing. I just think it's so wonderful. Maybe that's like cliche and cheesy of me. I know it's like a really well-loved series. You either love it or you hate it because you see it for all of its flaws and everything, but I adore fourth wing. I'm obsessed. I've listened to the dramatized versions on Audible like a gajillion times. It's almost embarrassing to admit how many times I've listened to this book. But I am obsessed, so anytime I see fourth wing style merch, I'm just like, it's mine, I have to have it. Oh yes, and I got this little sticker to put on my computer, and it says Onyx Storm, Brave the Dark, and it is super reflective. So that's exciting. Okay, you guys, well, thank you so much for watching today. That concludes the February haul. I'm gonna have to go on a book buying ban for the next like month or so for sure. Yeah, because my bank account definitely felt this book buying excursion, but totally worth it. I love everything that I picked. Let me know if you guys have purchased any of these books too. Are they on your radar? Have you read any of them? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think of this haul. I'm looking around because I have it all just spread out around me from talking about them with you guys. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the books that I'm adding to my shelves this month. I'm ecstatic. If you want to know how I feel ecstatic about it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.